Okay, in last recording I said I would also speak a little bit about the Eliezer getting a wife for Yitzchak. So I'm going to speak about it, but what I'm going to speak about is not the actual whole story about him getting a wife, but beforehand, when Avraham told Eliezer to get a wife for Yitzchak. So the Torah starts by saying, Avraham zakein ba b'yamim. Avram was old, coming in days. V'Adonai barachas Avraham b'kol, and Hashem blessed Avram with everything. So the Malbim explains that these are the two causes or reasons that Avram decided it's time for me to make Eliezer take an oath to get a wife for Yitzchak. And because Avram is old, I don't have any more. Sometimes people wait. Let me get a little bit older, a little bit more settled. Then I'll get a wife for my son. But Avram was already old. He didn't have to worry about that. He was old, and which would also be a reason, like he would like to see his offspring before he dies, before he passes away, his grandchildren. Secondly, Hashem blessed Avram in everything, because a lot of people will say, I shouldn't get a wife for my son until I have money to support them and to give them and all of that, because if not, like, what type of life am I creating for them? So Avram was blessed, Hashem blessed Avram with everything, and therefore he had no money reason to worry about. So therefore, for those two reasons, Avram told his servant, and now it's saying the reasons that he told his servant. Also, this is based on the Malbim. Why did he tell the servant? Why did he tell Eliezer? Why didn't he make Yitzchak take an oath? Isn't Yitzchak more trustworthy and all of that? So Avram told Avdai, his servant, his slave, Zakan Beisai, the one who takes care of everything, the older one of his house, Hamoshel Bechol Asher, who rules over everything he has, meaning even over his children, he takes care of them, and therefore Yitzchak would have to listen. And because it would appear that Avram didn't want Yitzchak to even worry about this. He wanted to take care of Yitzchak, but he gave the one with the most trust and most authority to take care of Yitzchak. And also that Yitzchak would listen to, which was Eliezer. So, put your hand under my thigh, and I'll make you take a shvuah by Hashem, the God of the sky and the God of the earth, that you will not take a wife for my sons from the daughters of Canaan, that I dwell amongst them. So the Malbim says, Vashbiyacha, through bris milah, because that's why I told him to put his hand under his thigh. Because through the mitzvah of milah, naaseh elokei haaretz, he becomes the God of the land. That was the covenant through the bris milah. That was the covenant that Hashem did with Avram to be his God. And for generations after, do not take a wife for me from the daughters of the Canaan, a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanim, because they're bad in their middos. Well, I do need to go back. I skipped a little bit. Let's start from the beginning. So, that through bris milah niskad that through bris milah they became sanctified in this be'ois bris, and a sign of a covenant, and the godliness rested upon them, like it says in the Torah, to be for you a God and for your generations after you. But this depends on this depends on that they will keep their yichus, their continuation, to be good continuation. When your offspring are linked to you. So therefore he didn't want his children, his offspring, to attach themselves to the daughters of Canaan, Ha'arur, the cursed, who was cursed, Shem Erlei Lev, that they were Erlei Lev means like stopped up hearts. Lo Yatzliach HaGefen, the grapevine, it's a mashal. Rak sheyavrichuhu beminoi, unless you do it with its species. Lo invei hagefen beinvei hasneh, not the leaves of the grape with the leaves of the bush. Va'al kain hiskir b'shvosai ois beris, and therefore he mentioned the covenant ois beris. Now, I would say, just to summarize, what the Malbim is saying here is that, at least in those times, especially now there wasn't yet the obligation of marrying Jews alone, marrying someone that was Jewish or someone that became a Jew, but you wanted to Hashem wanted Avram to choose people that were good and that had good middos and all of that, and Avram knew that he had to continue a generation. He had to think about that, and he wanted to choose the best people, and the best people he decided were not the middos of Canaan. They were cursed, and they were they had bad middos, like the Malbim is going to say. So therefore, he went to his land. His land and his birthplace. That's where he wanted Eliezer to go, to take a wife from over there, because he knew over there they had good middos. They had good characters, but even though they had bad opinions and were of the Avodah Zarah. So, it says they were bad with their middos. And the Ran writes that the mitzvahs of the Torah, there's two types. There are those that make a hashpah, they influence the body and the nefesh, the neshama. The middos Rosham Baguf of Nefesh, middos v'masim, and that's like deeds and middos. There are those that only do a impression, influence, affect the nefesh. That's the emunas, the knowledge, the beliefs. V'osam she'asu rosham baguf uva nefesh. Those that do a rosham, a imprint on the body and the nefesh. They will also do an imprint on the children. Okay, brings examples and all of that. But that's interesting. That's what he's pointing out, and that's what Avraham Avinu wanted to avoid, to have bad middos for his offspring. And therefore he took rather people with bad deos, which you could change their middos, rather than people that have bad middos and good deos. Okay, there's a lot to say about that. I would say that I would think that deos also have an impression on your neshama, on your body also, and your deos, your knowledge. I think that your knowledge affect your body. The deeper your deos, your beliefs are, they affect your body. No matter what you think, you can't. That's what I think. So I don't know if I wouldn't agree exactly with the Ran over here, but it still gives the point that you don't want people with bad middos. It's more engraved in you. Bad middos are engraved, and they could continue for generation to generation. I would say knowledge is easier to uproot because it's in the mind and it's something people are thinking about, speaking about all the time, so you could identify it. Middos, you can't always identify straight away, and it's engraved deeper, like we said. It's engraved much deeper, so even if it's on the surface, you erase it, it's not for sure really erased.